Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satkurum Brahmavitvaram Satkurum Brahmavitvaram. Hari Om, everyone. Last session, we had covered some preparatory steps for meditation. These steps are particularly important because when we start meditating, we need a continuous, joyous meditation sitting. Otherwise, sometimes we start it, but in between we lose enthusiasm, don't have continuity. All these things can come up. So doing the preparatory steps well ensures that our meditation is joyous. Who is the meditator? That was the topic. And then we said meditator is the one who is working on the preparatory steps or he has mastered it to a great extent. That person is the meditator. And under the preparatory steps, we were seeing this first one, which was Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga in this context, we saw it as living in outer and inner harmony. Living and working with outer and inner harmony. Inner harmony means sense organs and mind is well controlled, well disciplined. Outer harmony is thinking about what we can give. Working in yajna spirit, making ourselves fit into any given situation. Then we saw the second preparatory step, which was being mindful of erroneous resolves that our mind makes. It's a very subconscious thing which happens without our knowledge, but it comes to bother a sadhaka. Not only does it bother at the seat of meditation, it also bothers that sadhaka in whichever goal he might be pursuing. Because mind will have repetitive thoughts about one small thing in this creation. Some object, some experience, some person. So Bhagavan Krishna says, meditator is the one who is very alert. He has understood that agitations in my mind are proportional to desires entertained. Where did these desires come from? When we repeated some resolve. And the resolve comes in the form of this thing is nice, this person is nice, he or she will give us joy. Now, we should remember, Vedanta is not asking us to become a very dry person or not have any friends, be very doubtful about world, people. Not in that sense. All Vedanta is asking us is, let us not make erroneous resolve about where joy is going to come from. The purpose of this whole discussion is for us to appreciate that joy lies within. Happiness is my own nature. I don't have to seek it from people and objects. That is the main message. Because until somebody is happy with outer joy, they will not have any inspiration to seek inner joy. And meditation is the technique of turning inwards. So there will be a tug of war. Outside also getting pulled, and this person is striving to go inside. Both will not work simultaneously. One will win. Either I'll get pulled outside or I will successfully pull myself within. Then the third aspect we saw under preparation was moderation. Moderation in our life in general, but in particular these four aspects. First one was food, second one is exercise, third one is activities, which also includes entertainment, social media, what kind of conversations we have with people. And the last one was sleep. So person who is balanced in all these four aspects will not only have a cheerful life, happy life, productive life, but he'll also be able to meditate effectively. One of these four going out of balance is sufficient to disengage us, derail us from our meditation practice. Bhagavan Krishna in 6th chapter sprinkles some meditation tips. They just show up as verses, but they're very effective. In one verse, Bhagavan Krishna says, there are two types of people. First one is called the one who wants to meditate. First category of people are those who want to meditate. They are working on restraining the mind. And the example he gives, analogy he gives is of someone who is trying to climb a horse. He is striving to climb it. He has not climbed it yet. So climbing the horse is like trying to rein our sense organs and mind. That person is called as Arurukshu. Arurukshu means one who is striving to master the mind, striving to restrain the mind. In the metaphor terms, it is the one who is trying to sit on the horse. Second person is called Yogarudha. Yogarudha is somebody who is ready for meditation. Why is he ready for meditation? Because he has already restrained his mind. He has already mastered his mind to a great extent. So when he sits down for meditation, mind will directly focus on the goal. He is the second person called as Yogarudha. Now Bhagavan Krishna says, Yogarudha is not born on day one. Neither does he suddenly manifest from somewhere. How does a person become Yogarudha? He says, every Yogarudha, every master has started as a student. He started as an Arurukshu wanting to master his mind. He has worked hard on his mind and finally he has come to gain full control. They are not two different people. It is the same person at two different stages of life. And in this journey, Bhagavan gives one beautiful tip. He says, lift yourself by yourself. Lift yourself up means what? Lift yourself by yourself. From Arurukshu, go to Yogarudha. And don't fall back on some instant gratification. If you connect this back with the aspects of moderation, what we just discussed. With food choices, for example, if somebody has to go from step 1 to step 2. So Bhagavan Krishna's advice to us is, if you have improved upon something in your lifestyle, don't fall back on the previous way of life. Means be alert. If you have modified your sleep cycle to sleep on time, wake up on time, means what? That person is going from Arurukshu to Yogarudha. And in this one, Bhagavan says, if you have made some progress, strive hard not to fall back. And falling back means most likely it will be instant gratification. That joy which comes in hitting the snooze button. That's a very good example of this. So Bhagavan says, don't fall back on those previous things. Means our journey should be forward. Sometimes what happens, we take 2 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So our net becomes very minimal. In fact, it is better that we take only 1 step, but keep taking 1 step forward. Not fall back on old habits, and nobody else can help us in this. That is why this verse comes, Uddhared Atmanatmanam, Natmanam Avasadayet. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhuhu, Atmaiva Ripur Atmanaha. we are our own friend, we can become our own enemies. This particular concept, this particular topic of going forward, not going backward. In Puranas, it is explained through a story of Lord Ganesha. Lord Ganesha, we know, has a big tummy, big belly. And one day he was riding on his mouse, and that mouse was little unstable. Means mouse was stable, he sitting on the mouse was unstable. And he falls from the mouse here and there while it is going, while it is taking a turn. And Moon, God from top, he laughs at Lord Ganesha. And Lord Ganesha curses the moon, saying, on Dvitiya, during the Ganesh Chaturthi time, anybody who sees you will not have, or people will not see you. Let's put it in that way. You will become an object which people won't like to see on certain day. So he curses the moon. But the symbolic side of this whole thing is that the moon symbolizes our mind. And Lord Ganesha, trying to balance himself on the mouse, represents the effort of a seeker. We also strive in baby steps. At that time, our mind should come and encourage us. That is the meaning of lift yourself by yourself. That mind should not discourage us or belittle our effort, whatever little progress we might be doing. So this is Bhagavan's first meditation tip. Second tip he gives is befriend the mind. Don't neglect this, because the good news is befriending the mind means befriending the world. How is this? What is this befriending the mind, and how is it connected with world? Bhagavan Krishna makes a very pertinent observation. We have to analyze this for ourselves and see whether what he's saying is true or not. He says, my dear, there are only two states of this mind. Just like you have a two-way switch, on and off. Like that, there are only two states. What is state one? He says, mind can either be our friend, and state two is, if it is not our friend, it will only be our enemy. And what is a friendly mind? Friendly mind is an obedient mind. Whatever the person wants, that this mind does. And what is an inimical mind? Inimical mind is the one which is turbulent. We set our own goals, we set our own ideal routine, ideal goals, and none of this, or majority of these things, mind doesn't help us accomplish. He says there are only two options. One is friendly, another is as an enemy. And very likely, most often, rather all the time, our perception of the world majorly depends upon the lens through which we are seeing this world. And that lens is our mind. Beauty in this world is seen through the eye of the mind. We must have noticed whenever our mind is quiet, mind is calm, peaceful, world also looks like that. And whenever we are agitated, world also looks very difficult to handle. There is a nice story I had read. In one village, there was an elderly lady who was sitting on the outskirt. One person comes from a neighboring village wanting to settle down in this lady's village. And he asks that lady, how are the people inside this village? How are they? That lady asks that youngster, first you tell me, how are people in your village? That youngster says, people there are mean, people there are rude, everybody is self-centered. That's why I want to move away from that place. I have come here. That elderly lady says, in this village also, people are mean, people are rude and self-centered. After some time, another youngster comes from another village. He also asks the same question. Lady says, how are the people in your village? This person says, in my village, everybody is very kind. I grew up there and I owe a lot to people in my village. They made me who I am right now. No wonder I have come here for better opportunities. That lady says, you are in the right place. People in this village are not only kind and good, they're much more than what you just described. Somebody was watching, that elderly lady. This person said, first person who came, you told that person people are very mean and rude. And same village, another person you said, they're all very nice. So she says this statement, the world is seen through the lens of our mind. Whatever is a state of the mind, world also gets painted in the same color. So Bhagavan says, learn this art of making this mind obedient, life will become very joyous. Pujya Gurudev gives another meditation tip in his book Meditation and Life. He says we should be very alert and we should continuously refine these three things. What are they? First one, he says, quality of thought. Second is quantity of thought. And third is direction of thought. Quality, quantity, and direction. Just like if there is a river or a pond, let us say, river is a better example. You have quality of water, quantity of water, and direction of water. If quality of water is good, you can drink from that stream. If quantity is too much, then flooding, things get swept away. Quantity is optimal, you can swim in that stream. And direction also is important. Where is it headed? Similarly, our mind has different types of thought. And Pujya Gurudev says, let us be alert about the quality of these thoughts. So the healthy emotions are one side of it, good quality. What are they? Compassion, humility, gratitude. Whenever these thoughts are there, our mind is having good emotions, good quality. Other side is unhealthy emotions, which examples of unhealthy emotions are anger, jealousy, pride. Means if unhealthy emotions are there, I will have to constantly pay attention to this mind. And if healthy emotions are there, I will not even know that mind exists. This is one difference between healthy and unhealthy emotions. If anger is there, it will always demand time. That means what? My main goal gets sidetracked. I have to focus on this mind. So he says, improve the quality of the mind. In another place, Gurudev says, if you want to prove God, improve yourself. I found that quote very eye-opening. He says, if you want to prove God, improve yourself. What is improving myself? Shifting from unhealthy mind to a healthy mind. And these healthy emotions, it is not that, one by one we have to practice. Okay, now I'll come practice compassion. Next week I'll practice gratitude. These are not time-bound values. Whenever a person becomes devoted to Bhagavan, whenever the ego mellows down, natural result of that are all these healthy emotions. Whenever our ego is very strong, what comes along with that is all these unhealthy emotions. So if a person is devoted to the Lord, that person will find it easier to practice the healthy emotions. Means a devotee cannot say, I am Dasa, let's say Krishna Das or Shiva Bhakta. I am a Shiva Bhakta and I'm so mad right now. I am a Krishna Bhakta and I'm jealous of this person. I say both of it cannot go together. If you are a Bhakta, that Bhakta is free from all these vices. Should be free from those vices. Okay, so this is quality. Second one is quantity. Quantity means what, This mind has all random thoughts. Different things. Something which it is not connected at all. Which it should not be thinking about. Those thoughts come and occupy this mind. So what does it mean to reduce quantity of thoughts, or how can we optimize this quantity of thoughts? One who has a good routine and one who lives a duty-bound life. First he asks, am I responsible for this particular thing which I am preoccupied with? If not, then he switches back to what he is responsible for. The blessing of this lifestyle is it protects the mind from brooding over random things. Otherwise, this mind, different things are firing at such a rapid pace. Different thoughts are coming. And that continuous flow of thought also tires us down. So how do we optimize quantity of thoughts? Good routine and focusing on our duty. If it's not our duty, don't get too bothered by it. One who is supposed to do it should get bothered. Okay. The last one is direction of thought. One mind is monkey mind. Hanumanji refers to this monkey mind in Sundarakand. He says our mind is something which goes from one branch to another branch. Sakha te sakha par jahi. That is one type of mind. Another one is mind which is very clear about its direction. So when it sits down for meditation, it can very easily focus on the self. And more we practice it, we will become familiar with it. So our direction will be more single-pointed. Okay. So what does it mean to have good direction of thought? Means at least for some time in the day, our mind should turn its attention to the self. Mind should turn its attention to Bhagavan. That means the direction of thought is the right direction. Direction of thought is good. Okay, three things: quality, quantity, and direction. Quality, I have to go from unhealthy emotions to healthy emotions. Quantity, I have to reduce, optimize by focusing on my duty and having a very disciplined routine. Mind will not go here and there. And I should also find the right direction for this mind, at least for some time in the day. See, the transactional expression of truth is values. So in meditation, we focus on the self. In transaction, we should focus on values. So what is good direction in our transactional life? Good direction in transactional life is mind turns towards values. It is directed towards values. It doesn't go towards adharma. That is the right direction. Okay. Then another topic we had seen in the last session was practice of meditation. 3 steps were there: quietening the mind, fixing the mind in the self, and not initiating any new thought. Okay, 3 steps. Now, just building upon this, there are some very nice metaphors of meditation which come in Upanishads. These metaphors are very sweet and they convey the point. The first metaphor that we will see is of 2 birds. This comes in Mundaka Upanishad. The mantra goes, Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam ruksham parishasvajate tayoranyah pippalam swaduvatti anashnanyo abhichakashiti. What this means is, there are 2 birds who are very good friends, close companions, and they sit together. They sit together on the same tree. Dva Suparna. Suparna means beautiful wings. Both of them look alike. They have beautiful wings and they are sitting together on the same tree. The lower bird, or one of these 2 birds, is continuously eating the fruits, while the other bird is only watching. It is just witnessing, not doing anything. Now, what happens? The next mantra which is there, it explains the symbolic meaning of these 2 birds. We will use the same terminology which we have been using for meditation. The bird which is eating the fruits is the Jiva bird. What was Jiva? Jiva is the ego sense in us. I don't think we have discussed the word Jiva, but you can note it. Whenever the word Jiva comes, it refers to the ego sense, the doer, experiencer. That is the Jiva. And which is that other bird which is not eating and merely witnessing? That is the self. The pure awareness, consciousness, witness, Sakshi, Atman. That is the second bird. And what is this tree? Tree is the body. So within this body, both these entities are available to us. One thing we have to note, self is not constrained by the body, or it is not inside the body like some small entity. What it means is, self can be recognized in this body. That is all. Self is infinite. So these are the 3 things here. The Jiva bird, which is our ego sense, continuously eats fruits. Means what? Different things it keeps experiencing in this world. Good experiences, bad experiences. Hoping that it will get joy. Eating fruit means wants to eat only sweet fruits. But sometimes it bites into bitter fruit, sometimes a sour fruit, and in between some sweet fruit comes. But the other bird is only witnessing. The next mantra says, on the same tree, the Jiva bird is stuck. It is deluded and sorrowful by its own helplessness. Means Jiva bird thinks that I am going to control every single experience in my life. Every single fruit has to be sweet fruit. But very quickly it realizes I am helpless. Then finally this Jiva bird looks at the other bird, Sakshi bird, self bird. And looking at it, it realizes the greatness of that Sakshi bird. and understands I am not this Jiva bird. In my true nature, I am that Sakshi. Having realized this, it becomes free from sorrow. See, in a metaphor, there will always be some limitation. Huh? You cannot directly extrapolate that metaphor. In this metaphor, two birds are there, and these birds are different from each other. Bird one is there, bird two is there. But when it comes to ego sense and the self, they are not two distinct entities. Self is real, ego sense is an appearance. So ego sense realizes I am not this ego, I am the self. In my essential nature, I am the self. Knowing this, it becomes free from sorrow. Okay? Means what I'm trying to bring your attention to is, don't think of it as ego sense looking at the self as different from itself. Ego sense looking at the self is my essential nature. Okay. Now, who is this ego sense in this meditation practice? Few sessions before we had seen this. Ego sense is the meditator. Do you remember? We had seen who is the meditator. Ego sense is the meditator. So what does his ego sense have to do? Just like bird number one looks at bird two, ego sense has to look at the self. And say, I was in this samsara because I thought I am the ego. And as far as ego is concerned, different experiences will keep coming. We cannot be free from them because our destiny, prarabdha, will bring different experiences. And some we are adding right now also. Okay. So this is just to point out the practice of meditation. Be the second bird, Sakshi bird. Another metaphor which comes in the same Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, is a metaphor of an archer, his bow and arrow, and his target. I won't read the mantra, but just look at the meaning. It says the bow which is there is the Upanishadic knowledge. Om represents the essence of Upanishads, which is I am that consciousness. I am Brahman. The arrow which is there is the Jiva. Who is Jiva? Just now we saw. Jiva means the ego sense, the doer experiencer in us. And the target is Brahman, pure consciousness. So Om is the bow, Jiva or the ego sense is the arrow, and Brahman is the target. Apramattena vedhavyam. One should hit that target by being very alert and steady. Means using that Upanishadic knowledge as the bow, with lot of faith, studying the Upanishads and getting clarity, we should place our ego sense or the mind. The meditator is the arrow. And this meditator has to pierce the target, which is Brahman. And having pierced it, just like that arrow stays there, becomes one with the target. This has become one, or recognize you're already one with Brahman. Becoming one with Brahman does not mean right now I'm not Brahman and after meditation I'll become one with Brahman. Vedanta says we are ever Brahman, thinking that we are different from Brahman. Remove this erroneous notion. That is what this mantra means. Become one with target. Let this mind not have other thoughts, which are bringing it out of this meditative state. Okay, so these were some metaphors of meditation. Now the next topic is preparation for meditation. This is very simple topic actually, but I think it's good if we discuss it in the next session. Okay, that we will get sufficient time. And next session will be our last session for this particular sadhana challenge series. So we will look at the preparations for meditation, more detailed preparation, outer and inner preparation, and also look at few obstacles which come. Wishing you all a very happy Deepavali once again. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.